I'm John Jorgenson, and I'm back with Michael Schnitzer. Welcome.
Hey, John.
So Michael's the president of Stanley Martin Custom Homes, and we're going to talk today at this segment really about, I think, what I honestly believe is the most important aspect of the Stanley Martin Custom Homes buying process. And that is, we really focus on fully educating our buyers during the sales phase so you don't have any unpleasant surprises during construction. So we're also going to talk about making sure that our buyers are aware of how much money they may spend during the design phase while they are in the sales phase. So there's a whole bunch of chicken and egg with buying a new home. And so talk to us, Michael, a little bit about how we do things during the sales phase and what kind of effort do we put into disclosing information before the buyer makes their final commitment to us by removing their contingency.
Yeah, here's a great point. So continuous feedback loops, right? So we're looking for common themes that potentially could upset the buyer. So when we have our first sales meeting with our customers, they're test riding us, and we're trying to figure them out as well, make sure it's a good fit. So we know homes are built by humans. We've already talked about this. Humans are fallible, so we know there's going to be mistakes. We know things are going to happen during construction. And so during the sales phase, we like to give examples, right? So one example that we like to use because it's so easy is a broken window, right? So a broken window may happen. We can't stop it. It just may happen, right? The window may have broken at 4:30. Customer shows up on the job at 5. Our project manager may have left at 4:15. And so the customer's like, oh my God, I have a broken window, right? Why wasn't I informed? Well, you saw it first, right? We will see it. We will correct it. We will bring it up on a weekly meeting, right? But you may have seen it before we have seen it. So we don't want you to be upset, but these are the type of things that could happen. Maybe it's a cabinet door, maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. So we go over several examples of things that can go wrong. We are a big company, right? We have lots of integrity. We will fix anything that's either broken or maybe something was delivered and it has a scratch on it. Things will happen. Now, some customers, John, they can't handle things like this, right? And we tell those customers, this doesn't have anything about Stanley Martin. This is not the process. This is not the you don't want to do build on your lot. I'm not sure you even want to build. Period. Because this is not for you because you just can't handle it. So we want to bring things like that up. And remember how I say repeat it multiple times? So things that we bring up during the sales phase, we will bring up again, perhaps as soon as a customer removes the contingency. We will bring it up before we start construction for sure. And we will bring it up during construction. So we want to get this kind of out there. We want customers to know things that can go wrong at the highest level. We will make them right.
Exactly. So that's a great point. So that's an example of some of the things that can and probably will go wrong during construction.
There will be things.
So we want to chat about that during the sales phase.
Absolutely.
So during the sales phase, a buyer can decide at any time this isn't the right transaction for them, and everybody walks away whole. There's no risk to anybody losing a deposit or anything like that.
Because if you were the buyer, you may have a very unpleasant experience. Me as the builder, now I'm going to get a dissatisfied buyer, and that's what we try to stay away from. And probably even more importantly, I'm going to have employees who are not enjoying their job,
and that just translates to all the other buyers.
Oh my God, it's just a trickle down.
So that's from a construction perspective, I think. So another thing that I think we focus on a lot at Stanley Martin Custom Homes is disclosing pricing during this sales phase. So we work very hard to get all the pricing on the table, even pricing for things that buyers may not be asking pricing for, right? So let's chat a little bit, I guess. Tell us about how do we deliver pricing to the buyers and what method, and then what do we do to make sure they understand that the pricing they have aligns with a certain level of finishes that they may want to buy?
Well, John, so we've talked about this a few times. So from a pricing perspective, we take it up a level. We have the price of the house,
right,
and we have the site costs.
Right.
Right? That is done at cost with a management fee, but done at cost. So those two combine to create the overall price.
Right.
At the next level down, we have pre-formatted price matrices with all kinds of categories, from green categories, right? Green movement categories to finished space categories to kitchens and baths and so on and so forth, so that customers can see pre-formatted pricing and make selections. Now, these are selections just to almost like a performa to create a price model that matches what they want with an end in mind.
And one of the things I just want to jump in is that another really cool aspect of Stanley Martin Custom Homes is when they make those selections on the price matrix, it automatically adjusts the price at the top of the matrix.
Right.
So at all times, the buyer knows when they've selected options what the price is.
What the bottom line price is, So we have many pre-formatted price matrices based on various Stanley Martin homes, right?
Yep.
In those price matrices, we have structural options, so finished attics, finished sunrooms, and so on and so forth, right? And then we have selection criteria, upgrade B cabinets, C cabinets, D cabinets, and so forth, right? So at the highest level, we have our finishes online. So we're very transparent, and for a good segment of the population, those base or customers, that base selections works, right? We got to create some platform. One of the things we strive to do is find that right level between not building the value for the customer, but not starting too low, right? Because what price works in Loudoun County in terms of a set of specs may be different in Arlington, Alexandria, Bethesda, wherever, right? So the next level down, so there's two things. One is selections and one is changes in the design. So from a selection standpoint, we want to have a browse session because now we've got to show the customers, here is upgrade B where we start. It says the price is $0. Here's upgrade C. Maybe it's $2,500. Here's the price for upgrade D. Maybe it's $4,500.
Right. And just to jump in there for a second, we've got a great process for delivering that information to folks virtually, so they can get started in this process of figuring out what level they want. So it's all about, during the sales phase, it's all about understanding what the price is and what you're getting for your money, and getting alignment, meaning your pricing. If you want these upgraded cabinets, we can demonstrate what they are, so your price matrix will reflect what you want.
And what we like to tell customers is, if you're 50-50, plug in, because you at the end, this is just a template. Plug in the higher price to get your cost model, price model. The actual price matrix is going to get adjusted as you go through your actual selection. So if you select an upgrade D and you drop back to an upgrade B, the price is going to go down, but your experience will be that much better than watch the price go up. So we like to build into the pricing everything the customer wants, and usually their dream is more than what they want to spend. And so during the contingency phase, maybe they're starting to pull back on certain things. Maybe they had a finished basement, they had a finished attic, they had a 5-car garage and whatnot, and so maybe they go to a 4-car garage, and maybe they finish a portion of the basement, whatever it is. So there is some of that back and forth during construction, but we want to start with the end in mind, which is when the customer goes through the selection phase after they remove contingency, they're not watching the price go up, but they're watching the price stay steady, maybe drift down, maybe go up a little bit, but we're looking at it with the end in mind.
Right.
So,
and I think that's great. And so everything in my world with Stanley Martin Custom Homes is really about educating and avoiding unpleasant surprises later in the transaction. So
I'll just bring up one last thing. So and we run into this, where a customer takes, they like this plan as a starting point, and I may make several revisions, totally change the exterior and this and that with the interior, and maybe the house had 30 windows and now it's 60. Using this as an extreme example, right? So their pricing is going to go up. Maybe they do something with a sauna in a new finished space over a garage or whatever. And so what we say is so we already have the template for that particular house that may be being modified. We will then put on our green light thinking, creative thinking, change the house, make the modifications. The back office will update the price matrix so that now the price matrix has the base house, all the customization as line item details, and all the selections. Sometimes the customers want us to put the cart before the horse and say, well, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want the price. I'm like, we will give you everything. It will definitely be during the contingency period, but we got to put the design to paper. And we're not talking weeks, we're talking maybe a week, maybe a couple days, we'll deliver the pricing back to you.
So and I think for the vast majority of buyers that come through our program, they realize, and not only do they realize, but they appreciate that we are an organization of processes, and even beyond that, how do you give somebody a price if you don't know what it is they want to price on? So that is an interesting challenge that we run into.
But the highest level, as you said, it's all about managing expectations. It's all about putting ourselves and our customers in a position to, once we go into construction or when we go into the post-contingency phase, that they have a great experience. The only way to do that, because people get very uptight when the price starts to creep, whether it's site or whatever, we got to make sure we build that price model with the end in mind.
But it's better to have that price creep before you've made your final commitment to any builder versus making a commitment to a builder and then all of a sudden the price starts to creep. That's a very uncomfortable position to be in. So the last thing I think we should chat about in this segment is that we we always start with the design studio. We have our price matrix, which reflects the options that are available at the design studio. And it's a great resource for us, and we get great value when we make our selections from the Stanley Martin Design Studio. But some of our buyers have unique tastes, or some of our buyers want to do things like highly upgraded appliances. So chat just a little bit about how do we manage that process during the startup phase with things that may be outside of the design studio proper.
Right. So first we want the customer to look and see what's in the design studio, and we don't encourage or discourage, right? So they can stay in the four corners of the design studio, go out as often and as much as they want. And all we want to do is make sure they're having a good experience. So whether you use appliances or tile, we want to make sure we schedule a meeting with person X so that they can get, if they're going to spend time and go outside and drive to certain either manufacturing sites or whatever, that they're in and out. And we want to make sure that we're steering the conversation to not let a third party try to drive them into some pricing that maybe they feel uncomfortable with, or they're not sure where they're going to end up. That's where our design studio manager takes over, who already has the relationship with the buyer, and will make sure, going with the buyer, making sure that she's managing the experience. Sometimes it means, if we're going to a supplier, that we bring our trade with us, because it's not so much, part of it's the materials, but part of it's how do you install the material, which may have a cost associated with it.
Tile is a great example, right? Because a tile, you could find a tile that's not very expensive, but it could be very expensive to install.
Depending on what their vision is. Exactly. So high level, we promote as much outside the box thinking, if you will, as a customer wants. We also want to make sure that we give them some of the customer feedback, where we say to some customers, hey, just remember, you may get exhausted going outside the box for everything. So maybe there's certain things that you go outside that are high impact and some things that aren't high impact.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's their experience, and we will manage it.
Yep. So in summary, I think it's our goal at Stanley Martin Custom Homes to be extremely transparent during the sales phase. We will work with you to educate you about what it is you are going to be owning as an end result and what it's going to cost to get there. And the process is a lot of fun for us. It's a lot of fun for our buyers. Everybody has big dreams when they come in. The dream is always bigger than the budget. We know that. We always design, build, and price, and then we have to go back and redesign and right-size the plan or right-size the finishes. But we have a great system in place to get it done. So is there anything else you think we need to add on that? Or?
I think maybe the only thing is that we always encourage our customer to send us a picture of a house that they may find appealing with certain fenestrations and whatnot. If they send it to us, they don't even have to tell us why they like it.
Right.
I will pull those features and put it as a face on the floor plan that they've selected, and I can design any floor plan to meet any need that a customer has. So we always encourage the customer to start with a Stanley Martin plan that we can make bigger, make smaller, move walls, do this, do that, because there's efficiencies, cost efficiencies in doing that. But at the end result, you know, sometimes a customer will look at a plan from where it started to where it ends, and it doesn't look anything like where it started.
Well, you can see that on our website.
Sure.
If you look at our portfolio of customized homes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Great. So that is how we avoid unpleasant surprises during construction. So we have a comprehensive sales phase that's transparent and educational. And when you're ready to remove your contingency and make your final commitment to Stanley Martin Custom Homes, you will have a very good understanding of what exactly you'll be getting and what exactly it's going to cost.
Yep.
So, Michael, thank you for joining us today. And I'm John Jorgenson, and we look forward to continuing to have discussions with all the folks out there in internet land.